By the way, President Biden wrapped up his 3-day swing in Pennsylvania with an endorsement from one of the most prominent families in all of Democratic politics.
We want to make crystal clear our feeling that the best way forward for America is to re-elect Joe Biden and Kamala Harris to 4 more years.
I don't want to become emotional, but what an incredible honor to have the support of the Kennedy family.
Not in attendance, of course, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who himself is running as an independent in November. Now, while he didn't get his siblings' endorsement, and that got all the headlines today. I want to say not all, but maybe most, right? The family comes out for Biden. It's not a good look. Nobody wants to see that, right? But I thought there might have been a bigger story, and tell me if I'm wrong, that RFK Jr. got ballot access in the state of Michigan. And if Joe Biden wants to win re-election, you both are saying yes, he's got to win the state of Michigan. So what does it mean that now RFK Jr. is mixing it up in maybe the most important state in the election?
I mean, I think the Democrats have always seen him as the biggest threat to Biden's reelection promises or hopes. And so, of course, they're going to be upset that he's in Michigan. I mean, this shouldn't be a surprise. They've been hanging out with the Bidens, very cozy at St. Patrick's Day pictures, vacationing together. I mean, the Kennedys are all about making sure they distance themselves and coming out vocally. So, of course, there's no headlines on it. I'm not surprised at all. What I do think is so interesting is how RFK Jr. responded is precisely why the juxtaposition between how he responded and how Biden's, all of that response would have been, is precisely why Americans are so tired of the discourse, except for Max. Everyone hates how divisive everything is right now, so he responds with kindness.
Yeah, we could put the statement up on the screen. He wasn't hostile to his family at all.
He took the high road. He did the Michelle Obama.
One way to put it. Okay, so obvious. What concerns you more, that as Democrats, that Biden? Well, let me ask. Let me put it this way: Michigan, RFK Jr. on the ballot. Is that the real story today?
Sure, absolutely. I mean, right now in the polling, we're seeing that Kennedy specifically is polling somewhat equally from both the Trump camp and the Biden camp. But what we're also seeing is that in an absence of any third-party candidate, Joe Biden is doing better than Donald Trump would under the same circumstances. So I wouldn't be surprised if you start to see negative messaging towards RFK.
That's happening already.
Yeah. No, I mean like real money behind it on TV. We're not seeing anything on TV in these swing states yet. And they'll do, and they should do, whatever's necessary to win this thing.
RFK Jr. on the ballot in Michigan.
Well, I agree here. I think that, the Biden camp can't lose sight of RFK as someone who is pulling support steadily. And it could be a challenge for Democrats, especially when you think about a state like Michigan with really narrow margin of victory. Democrats have to make sure that they're continuing to solidify their base, but also keeping their eye on RFK and his supporters. And if they need to continue to kind of galvanize that support and bring them back home, so be it. I think that's got to be a part of their strategy.
Give you the last word here, Mick.
Michigan's a big story. It is. But Max is right. The question is not what Kennedy's pulling. It doesn't make a difference if he's pulling 2% or 22%. It makes a difference who he's pulling from. If he's pulling 2% and it's all from Joe Biden, that's a real problem.
Right. Okay. All right. Thank you for watching. And make sure you go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.